After you respond to the email where you got this video, indicating that you have watched this video, I will send you a user ID and a password. When you get that, go up here to the address window, type in AMOVERE dot sharepoint.com sharepoint.com. Press enter. It'll take you to this login window. Once you get to that login window, you will put in your user ID, which will be provided to you. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to use this one. It's going to look something like that. The second part of it is going to be identical. It's going to be ammo vere that on microsoft.com, and the password that's provided to you, of course, is input right here where it says password. I'll put in a password here, and hopefully I typed everything correctly and it'll let me in. As you can see, the pricing formula is right here. Once you get to this window, press that, and it's going to ask you for the login information again. Okay, the way you keep from having to do this over and over again, you're going to press here and here so that that information is remembered and you don't have to type it in all the time. For now, we have to type it in. On Microsoft.com, and the password that I will provide you goes in here. And there we are. Okay. At this point, you will get something like this. Press OK, and this happens to be the pricing formula. I'll reduce it so that it fits in the viewing window. Okay. The first thing I'd like to point out about this is that there's some green boxes and some yellow boxes. Those are the ones you're going to be dealing with. This one is supposed to be a mixture of yellow and green. That's because it's a mixed box. Okay, right here on the green box you can select from several options. Typically in this particular case you either want all new or cover only. Here for instance you will get those four options, and you can play with it as you go, because depending on the type of pillow or cushion you will get different options, of course. Down here you can see that we have sling pricing as well, and the sling pricing you only have length to input, because the width is basically the same. You get charged for the same thing regardless. A particular feature that I want to point out on this pricing program is if, for instance, you happen to know the name of the fabric but want to know the number, you can put in the name here from the list. Okay, you can see here, let's just say, okay, we pick that, and as you can see, white pinstripe is number 384, and it's in pricing category B. Pardon me. It's in pricing category B. What you can do with that information, actually, you can actually select from here A, B, C, or D. Uh, this is Calva pricing and customer material. When you select this Calva pricing, for instance, it's going to give you no values here, indicating that for that particular fabric, whatever it may be, we don't have a pricing category. The customer material gives you the prices without the material being provided. So this would be the price to make the particular um, cushion or pillow or sling, as the case may be. um, Going back over here, let's say that you have the number for the fabric, but you don't have the name, and you want to find out the name. Well, you select the number, and it'll give you the name right here. Now, the unique thing about this box right here, is that instead of selecting from one of the categories, you can also input either the number or the name of the fabric. For example, type in the name of the fabric that's up there just for convenience purposes. It doesn't have to be that. And press enter, and it'll tell you which pricing category it's on. Well, it happens to be on B. You can also put in the number if you prefer, or if you have the number instead of the let's type in 384, and the information is going to remain the same. Well, let's try to type in something else. Let's type in 327, and it's going to change to A. 327, and it changes to A as you can see. And you can go back to selecting that, and that's what's going to be taken to determine the price based on the fabric pricing category. Going back here, okay, as you can see, you up here you have pillows. You have different styles of pillows. You can see that, for instance, for a cylinder pillow, you can put the diameter and the length. This width will be provided or calculated for you automatically. Let's demonstrate. If I put 7 here, that number should change when I press enter, and it does, okay, because now that's the width of the material. If you needed to know, Arizona Cushions is going to need this, I suppose, but that's going to give you the pricing. And the nice thing about this is not only going to give you the amount of fabric that you need over here, but it'll give you the width of the fabric that you need as well. They may or may not be the same. Well, as you can see, that length is what really determines the width, unless this goes beyond the 54 inches that fabric comes of width that the fabric comes in when you purchase it. In which case this may double or triple depending on the diameter in case of a very thick cylinder pillow. Another thing to note is that, for instance, on a chair cushion, you may have hinges, and of course that's going to change the amount of material that's needed. For example, if I wanted to put 2 hinges on that same and those same dimensions of that particular cushion, and then it should add a little bit to the amount of fabric that's necessary to construct this. If it was 0, you can actually do 0, and it'll deduct a little bit from there, as you can see. Now um, you can do two-piece chair, for instance, and dimensions for each piece. Not only can you do dimensions for each piece, you can select a style for top and bottom if you so desire. Okay, if you want in the same style, make sure that these two are the same. For instance, if I want plain and both of them, then I gotta make sure that I put plain on both of them. I could have made it so that it's the same all the time, but then that cuts down on flexibility. There may be instances where you can, or you may want to have two different styles. With that, I hope you enjoy this, and please provide input as you play around with this pricing. And I hope that it makes your life easier. Over time, it will, I believe. Thank you very much for listening.